So I will introduce the ideas. This is the first time we've done this, so we're just taking the idea of TED Talks. It's a complete sort of stolen it from, and inviting people to talk. My premise was that probably all of us have got 20 minutes of expertise on something that the rest of us have absolutely no idea we know about. And so try and tease that out of the people who come regularly. And have Helen speaking, and Helen has been coming to Brazier since before I came to Brazier.
Longer than anyone can remember, perhaps.
Yes, longer than anyone can remember. And she just unassumingly comes in, enjoys things, spends the day with us and then slips away. But I happen to know from talking to her that she has various things that she knows a great deal about and could share. And then, not very many years ago, two interesting characters, Mitch and Natalia, came in, and they've been coming back. And they too, I think, have depths, okay, that we have not yet found. So we're working on that, working on finding bits of stuff, bits of interest, which is, I think, our job, don't you? As places? I think
Very good.
So very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I think what I will be covering today, many of us know quite a lot about, and maybe I'll just add an interesting aspect or two. So my topic today is elders, and that was something that I chose to talk about because it's been quite present in my life recently, with a couple of elders from my family tree leaving in the last few years. So that resonates quite strongly. So as I start, so when I'm faced with a blank page, so I like to overcome the anxiety by what I know other authors to do, I type my topic into a search engine. So let me start there. And by the way, exceptionally for this talk, I won't be asking for a show of hands today, so don't worry. So Cambridge Dictionary Online defines elder as an older person, especially one with a respected position in society, and gives the examples of: you should listen to the advice of your elders. They consulted the village elders, and formal, she's my elder by 3 years, i.e. 3 years older than I am. It further says that it can also be an official of a religious group, as a church elder, for example. So if we look at the etymology of the word, helpfully etymonline.com says elder, as in elderly person, senior citizen, dates back to approximately 1200s, and it comes from Old English eldra, meaning older person, parent, ancestor, or also chief or prince, used in biblical translation for Greek presbyter. We can compare German Eltern, Danish foreldre, don't know about the pronunciation, maybe some of you know better, or Swedish that. Also, the Old English word for grandfather was, I will give it a short, eldfader. So in the etymology, we can follow the idea of lineage in terms of passage of time, lineage, passage of time, ancestor, grandparent, parent, someone older than you. Also, etymology tells us about a historical link between a person's age and their position in society. The Greek word presbyter, nowadays names are all of a priest. So Hawaiian culture has the word kupuna. Throughout Hawaii, this Hawaiian word is widely understood to mean elder, grandparent of an older person. What is less recognized is the fact that the word has at least 3 distinct but related meanings. So, Professor of Hawaiian Language and Literature, Kahikaleani White, says this on the meaning of kupuna. First, a kupuna is an honored elder who has acquired enough life experience to become a family and community leader. The term has been stated to be the embodiment of a natural respect. In ancient times, there were teachers and caretakers of grandchildren, and that bond was especially strong. Even today, the kupuna is expected to speak out and help make decisions on important issues for both the family and the community. Kupuna also means ancestor. and includes the many generations before us who by their spiritual wisdom and presence guide us through personal, familial or community difficulties. We look to our Kupuna to help us find and fulfill our pathways through life. And the third aspect that Professor White mentions is that Kupuna means the source, the starting point or the process of growth. This meaning is related to the notion that our direct forebearers and those of the distant past remain living treasures who continue to help us grow in numerous ways. They are a source of experience, knowledge, guidance, strength and inspiration to next generations. So I come from a small town in Slovakia and grew up surrounded by my parents, grandparents and neighbours of all ages. I never have had a front door key to our house, as there was always someone in. And my grandfather used to teach us and the neighbours' children to read well before we started school. Admittedly, some of the benefits of living in a close-knit community I have only come to appreciate much later. As a child, I didn't like the old lady next door, nosy as she was, always spying and telling on us children at every opportunity. I particularly resented her for watching me across 2 gardens as I climbed my favourite cherry tree. Afterwards, she would tell my granny with horror that I'd gone up into the highest, thinnest branches again. What I didn't realise at the time was that had I fallen off, she'd raise the alarm in seconds and get me help. My interest in the role of elders has been growing as I age. I secretly hope it may be a sign I am turning into a wise crone, but as a psychotherapist practicing in the UK today, I suspect it may partly have something to do with our fear of ageing. It seems to me that the ageing process has come to imply a loss of our value in today's society, and I wonder why that is. So let's look at the adjective senior. I feel that in the business world, it has become divorced from its original meaning of advanced age, and has acquired connotations of experience, importance, trustworthiness. As an example, consider how the term senior consultant would change if I said old consultant instead. When I read news articles about senior citizens these days, sadly, I often don't pick up the same notions of importance or value. In my therapy work, I often use the philosophy of family systems to understand my clients' circumstances beyond the immediate problem they come to see me about. Systemic thinking and systemic constellation work honours the natural order of our family lineage. It acknowledges that biological life comes to us from our ancestors, through our grandparents and parents. In family systems theory, all these people belong in the story of our life, regardless of the relationship we've had with them, their behaviour, or how visible or included they were in the family or community. During constellation work, placing the client and what they are struggling with into the context of their family system allows for major shifts in their understanding and experience of themselves, especially after they have already looked at their situation in the present and recent past, and don't feel that they have the answers they have been looking for. When my colleagues and I trained to be therapists, we were told that in order to help, we'd always need to be at least one step ahead of our clients. I have come to appreciate that advice, as I now feel that people come to therapy looking for the missing experience of being with an elder. Attachment theory explains how, as human beings, we are neurologically pre-programmed to seek connection with others. Compared to other animals, we are born helpless and vulnerable, and to survive we need the presence of a caring other. Growing up, we are more able to meet our basic needs to make sure we stay alive. And then the search for attachment and belonging changes to a psychological and spiritual one. In the absence of a clearly defined role of elders in our communities, who do we turn to? When parents aren't open and available, perhaps they're being busy, and there are no caring grandparents, uncles, neighbours around, we can't help but emotionally attach to the next best thing, mentors at work, older colleagues, or therapists. Dr. Gabor Mate, in his book, Hold On to Your Kids, introduces an interesting perspective on attachment issues in young people. In his view, children who don't experience present elders in their families attached to their peer group and the immediate availability of social media instead. Like this instead of adults, they attach to other children. As attachment figures, peers are not only immature role models, but more profoundly, they are not able to meet the child's needs for safety, emotional containment, and the grounding in the life process. I think myself lucky to have found some wonderful elders readily available to me in the community I was born into. Finding supportive elders in my adult life, however, whether that be for personal or professional reasons, has proven much more difficult, and more often than not, has come at a considerable financial cost. Why is it that we need to pay for the services of therapists, coaches, and advisors to such a great extent these days? Is it for their specialisms and expertise, which can undisputedly be priceless? Or do we also seek the experience of being able to lean on an elder? Kahikaleani White, who talked about the Kupuna elder in Hawaiian society, having explained the meaning of the Hawaiian word for elders, has this to say: these various meanings of Kupuna show how rich a resource they are, and why they should be tapped to, contribute to the betterment of Hawaii, for they truly represent one of Hawaii's fastest growing natural resources. Taking my age into account, the big question I have been asking myself when preparing this talk was this: is aging an absolutely crucial attribute to becoming an elder? Or can we, at any point of our adult lives, do some of the inner work required to connect with our roots, as well as making more conscious our experiences of help for others we have met as adults, and pass this knowledge on? I believe we can all aspire to embody the energy of an elder for someone around us. And in today's world of disconnection, of walls and hostile environments, it is needed more than ever. Maybe being one step ahead, or even simply being present and attuned, can be all it takes sometimes.